Hey everyone, hope we're all doing well. Just wanted to share a brief thought that I thought related to the times that we find ourselves in. This past week's parsha and even before that, we obviously have the stories of receiving the luchos, Har Sinai, Egel, and Moshe destroying the luchos. But tucked away towards the end of last week's parsha is Hashem after the Egel and after Moshe breaks the luchos. Hashem says to Moshe, "Come back up the mountain again, and create your own second pair of luchos. Create new luchos. Make them yourself." And a lot of the commentaries pick up on the fact that these new luchos that were made were very different from the first set, in that the first set was done in all this fanfare and the thunder and lightning and Har Sinai, this magnificent scene and this whole event. But then the second luchos were made privately by Moshe. There wasn't this whole event. There was nothing going on. People, it wasn't this whole grand experience like the first time around. And we also know that, right, those first luchos Moshe destroyed when we sinned with the Egel. But the second luchos that Moshe created, those are going to remain intact forever, and we'll get them back at the times of Mashiach. And I think that we can take a lesson out of this distinction between the first and second luchos that applies to the time that the world finds itself in, which is that the first luchos, which were made in public with this whole fanfare, this whole grandiose reveal and Har Sinai and everything magnificent that was happening there, those were not as lasting. And the ones that Moshe made privately and kind of on his own, under wraps, and not in front of everyone else, those are what ends up lasting. And the point being that sometimes what we do in private, and sometimes what we do that are not as public and not out in front of everybody else, can be so much more impactful, so much more meaningful than and so much more long-lasting than what was done in public in front of everyone. And so, relating that back to what's going on now, obviously, a lot of us are probably not going out of our homes so much. We're probably getting pretty bored, maybe a little bit antsy, being in the same house every day in, day out. And not really able to interact as much with the people that we generally interact with on a daily basis. But I think taking this message to heart, if we can all try to, when we're not in school or we're not in an environment with many other people where everyone can see who we're talking to, who we're not talking to, and it's very easy for me to go up to someone and say, "How's it going?" when I pass them every single day. But now, when we're not passing those same people every day, and we're not necessarily as in touch with everyone, making the extra effort to reach out to a few people, maybe one new person every day, to reach out to them, check in on them, see how they're doing, and hopefully those relationships that we build in our private domain from when we're at home, because we're in we're in requested self-quarantine or whatever the situation is from whatever part of New Jersey, New York you're in. Hopefully those relationships that we make, and using that extra effort, we'll be able to build much more impactful and long-lasting relationships. Everyone have a great Shabbos.